Hello everybody. Since I'm kind of bored, and I can't exactly show my face to you guys right now because my pink eye is sort of getting in the way of that, and it's really bad, and I don't think you guys really want to see that, because it's really gross, and yeah. So I was thinking, why don't I do a draw my life? Normally I would do this, if I, had a lot of subscribers, but, because normally people do when they have a lot of subscribers, or, when they meet, once they, get to, a marking stone. But, I'm gonna do it now. Warning, this is going to get probably a little bit personal, because not that my life is bad or anything, it's just, I don't know. Alright, let's just see. Let's just see what goes on. Okay, so, on September 18th of 2001, at 7:21, September 18th, 2001, 7:21 a.m.
Can anybody help us? At Sears Winter Event, let our experts help you save 35% or more on applied hot dogs.
For the bad car, yeah, I'm not an artist, okay? But my parents drive
Thank you for giving me my mom back.
to the hospital,
For helping my mom.
and then when they get there, they go inside, they get to a room, and then
A moment really can change your whole life. With Jenny Craig, try us free for a month plus the cost of food and get $50 in food savings.
I'm Phil Mickelson, pro golfer. My psoriatic arthritis caused joint pain.
Just like my moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis.
small baby girl is born.
Worried about
Joint damage.
She is 5 pounds,
Sign of existing joint damage that could only get worse. He prescribed Enbrel
7 ounces.
and help stop further damage. Enbrel may lower your ability.
I was a very small baby. But so, I was born, and I stayed in the hospital for about another 2 weeks. Sorry everybody, I keep having to move my phone because it's not in the right position. When I'm first born, we lived in my grandparents' house in this little room, and I hardly remember it, but it's a very small room, very small room, with one bed and one crib. But the crib isn't even a crib, it's one of those playpens, because we didn't have a real crib. So we lived in my grandparents' house. But then, when my parents finally get money, we moved to a little house in Pennsauken, which is also where my grandparents live. I go there, and I live there, and I go to preschool and kindergarten there. Once I go out of kindergarten, we move to a place called Westville. And there I go to first grade and second grade. I go there for first and second grade. But then we move again, which makes me leave my friends, and I do remember them even now. I don't really remember my friends that much there because I don't really remember their names. but I kind of do remember the place because they had a really big playground. That's kind of what my mind takes me to every time I think of it. And then we moved to another house in Oak Lane, but this house is an apartment. Then we moved to an apartment in Oak Lane.
His name is Kevin Loftman. He was attacked over here by his car. His wife and daughter were taking photos out by the lake. Dad runs back to his vehicle, never returns. Family gets ghost calls us.
Now, the apartment in Oak Lane is actually really important because, well, hold on, let's go back to Westville. In Westville, we lived there until I was 6, I believe. Alright, maybe I went to 3rd grade in Westville too. I'm not really sure. Yes, I went to 3rd grade in Westville too, but then, and then I lived there until I was 6. But once I was 6, my parents, my mom and my dad got into fights a lot. And they both decided that it was better if my dad would leave. So my dad left, and I still see him in my life now. He's not out of my life. He never left my life. I see him now still. But right now he's in South Carolina. But let's stay on topic here. But so he leaves. And he goes to live with his mother and his siblings in a little public storage place. So that happens. But then in Oak Lane, me and my mother stay there, and I'm there until I am in 5th grade.
There's no blame that can be taken here. There's nothing that you could have done differently. Nothing. Where exactly did you see?
Then I'm there until 5th grade. But I start over to go to 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And I stay there, and while we're in Oak Lane, alright, so I go to Lake Candle every summer. Don't know if any of you know where that is, but it is a very amazing campground, and I basically grew up there, and that is my second home, pretty much. Lake Candle is basically my second home. I go there every summer with my friends, and I have 2 friends there that I have been friends with ever since I was a baby, and we kind of grew up together, and we're just, everybody always says you have best friends for life. Well, they are my best friends for life, because we grew up together, and even when we have fights, it blows over us so fast, because we're in Lake Candle, and there's nothing but happiness there. We've never really experienced sadness at Lake Candle. It's always happiness. But yeah, okay, so then, when we were at Lake Candle one day, I don't remember the exact date, but my mom and me were at the park, and she was pushing me on the swing sets because I just love the swing sets down there. And this man was next to us, and he kept looking at my mom and me, and then he would just look at my mom, and I would see this, but I didn't say anything because I knew my mom would figure it out eventually. But he looked at her a different way, and my mom had many boyfriends, and I had met them all, but none of them ever looked at my mom like this man did. It was just, I don't know. At that time, I didn't know much about it, but now I know it was beautiful. And so my mom and him introduce each other, and he thinks that my mom is my sister. And then my mom blushes and she talks to him, and then they keep talking, and eventually later on they go on a few dates and he moves in with us. He moves in with us in the apartment in Oak Lane. And his name is Dominic.
Someone was tied here. Or tied up against this tree.
And my mom's name is Ruth Ann. So, they kind of fall in love. And you know, I'm young. I was about 7 when all of this happened. So I didn't know much about it then. But eventually they fell in love. But eventually they fell in love, and then a few years later, more things started to happen. And this is where it gets kind of personal. So Dominic is addicted. Well, he was addicted to drugs. Addicted to drugs, and my mom finds out, and they kind of have a fight about it, and then he goes to jail a few times. In fact, he just got out of jail a few months back, but he's better now. 2015. And now he's in recovery.
I don't think I recognize him. He's a show. They bought 2 bags of crisps, some 89 octane petrol, and a can of Pepsi. A lot of people passed through there.
There would have been a man with a hooded sweatshirt here at the same time. We think he's following that family.
Well, it wasn't a local, not one of my regular friends.
He's in recovery now. But okay, but back then, I didn't really understand. But then again, I kind of did. He kind of showed me discipline that my mom and my dad never really showed me. And it kind of made me a better person. Like, it really did. It made me a better person and stuff. But I also learned more about being addicted to drugs. Because when I would learn about drugs in school, I would always think, you know, no one I know is going to ever be like that. Because I have good friends. I have all this stuff. And really, after I met him and everything, and I don't know, he made me a better person. And the friends that I did have, they didn't exactly become like that, because I'm in high school now. But they kind of did. Like, they weren't as good as I thought they were. Like, all my friends in school, they weren't as good as I thought they were. But now, alright, they've been together for about 7 years. My mom and Dominic have been together for about 7 years. And 2 years back, they were supposed to get married. But they didn't. And that's because Dominic left. He left, and it hurt me and my mom really bad. So bad that we took everything that we really ever had from him, like pictures, stuff that he gave to us, his number out of our phones. We took everything about him and just threw it all behind us and just threw it all out. And all my mom's boyfriends, when my mom would break up with them, even though I was young, I would just tell myself to just forget about them because I knew they weren't going to ever come back. Or at least I didn't think they were ever going to come back. And I did that with Dominic. I tried to do that with Dominic, but it didn't work because they were together for so long that he was just in my mind permanently and I couldn't get him out. And I tried so hard to get him out of my mind, but I just couldn't. And people would always ask me, do you think he's coming back to you guys? Do you think your mom's going to take him back? And I would keep saying no, because at that point I didn't want him to come back, but inside I really did. I didn't know what to think about it, and I didn't want him back in my life, but yet I did. And then I could see how much my mom loved him, and I couldn't handle her not being happy, and I wanted her to be happy, and I wanted to have anything for her to be happy, and I wanted to find her someone else, but I couldn't because I was only 13 when he left, and I can't go and find my mom a replacement like that. I just can't. Because I knew that he made her happy, and I wanted her to be happy, and that's all I wanted. But, sorry guys, I'm not crying, I promise. It's just going back, and I'm just thinking. But now, he got us to live in Pittman. We live in a little blue house. Too bad I don't have blue, but we live in a little blue house with my 3 cats. That looks like an animal. I don't know if you heard that or not, but that was one of my cats. But yeah, we live here with my 3 cats. My mom is here. I live here, and Dominic lives here. I live here, my mom lives here, Dominic lives here, and my 3 cats. I used to have 2 ferrets. Their names were Nobi and Kalia, and they were put down a year back because Kalia had a weird cyst thing on the side of her leg, and she ended up starting to suffer, so my mom had her put down, and I was there when she was put down and everything, and then Shinobi, we tried to keep him as long as we could without having Kalia, and they kind of grew up together, so I didn't know how that was going to work. And then he ended up having a seizure, and I think he was just really upset because he wouldn't eat and stuff, and then he ended up having a seizure, and we had him put down, and now he is buried in my grandparents' backyard, because that's where all of our animals are buried. My old cat, he's buried there too. I don't know if I forgot to tell you guys about him. My mom had a friend at work, and she died. Well, they had a cat, and my mom loves cats so much and loves animals, and she didn't want him to suffer, so she brought him to our house. She woke me up at 7 o'clock in the morning and told me we were going to go and get a cat. I already had 2 cats at that point, and I didn't understand why we were doing such a thing. But I was happy, but then I found out he was an older cat. And having an older cat is more work than having 2 young cats, in which we had. And we got him, and his name was Baltimore, but he was old, and he ended up having a stroke eventually, and he was hiding under my bed, and we couldn't get him out. And then we took him and had him put down. And I didn't go to school that day because I was still young, and I didn't understand why we had to do such a thing. And I don't know, I was really upset about it. But yeah, but now we have Hurricane, which is my kitten. He is 2 years old. If I can, I'll get up and show you my cats. And we have Chubbs. His real name is Eddie, but we can call him Chubby. And we have Larissa.
So you're certain that you heard no struggle, no girl in here?
Now, that's pretty much my story now. But I'm in 9th grade now, and I live in Pittman. And so far, I've met more friends here than in any of my other schools. And now I will try and show you my cats. Come here, Hurricane. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to show you my cats. You know, this is Hurricane. He's kind of larger. Oh, there he goes. Yep, there he goes. He ran off. But yeah. Oh, hey, would you like that? There you go. Now you can see him better. That is Chubby. That one right there. And that one right there is Hurricane. And Larissa, I think she may be upstairs. Haha, you guys know this place. It's my room. This is Larissa. Right there. Right there. That one right there. She's so cute. But she's 11, so is Chubby Boy. Hurricane's 2. So they kind of have an issue with the ages, and they kind of they don't play together much. But yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this little Draw My Life and me talking about my personal life. And sorry guys. But yeah, so please like, subscribe, and comment, and give me feedback.
He has an active call out right now to the highway patrol. Something about an accident on the road.
Here's location. I don't know. The guy's not moving.
Is he hurt?
Okay, let me check. Sir, are you okay? Come on, we're losing minutes, right?
But yeah, so please like, subscribe, and give me feedback.
I can't give you his exact location. I'm so sorry. He's somewhere.
But you know, love you all.
What about satellite images? It's nice. You're all in the middle of Stumble Zoo. I'm taking any clean views.
All right, what are you doing to cell phone? Make an emergency breakthrough. Whatever you got to do.
Okay, I'm trying that now.
I got the police on the line. Can you move?
Okay, so I love you all. And, bye. Bye now. Love you all. Again, like, subscribe, and give me feedback. Or and leave comments below. Bye now.